Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on automating email workflows with Make and MailerLite. I'm so excited to be with all of you today, and I hope you are too. We all know that email marketing can be very repetitive, time-consuming, and overwhelming task. But with the power of automation, you can streamline your workflows and save time. So today we will be showing you how Make and MailerLite can work together to make your email marketing more efficient and effective. So guys, we have 1 hour session ahead of us. So let's kick it off by introducing our speakers and agenda. Let's welcome Harmony from MailerLite. Hi, Harmony. Harmony is a customer education content creator. She will be introducing you a new version of MailerLite and cool, exciting features. You have also Make crew. You have me, my name is Ina, Strategic Partnership Manager at Make, and I will introduce you unlimited automation possibilities that you will get with Make product. We have also Daniel with us, a solutions architect from Make. He will cover practical part to show you popular use cases and best practices with MailerLite on Make. Right after our demo, we will have a quick quiz game. You will be able to win a special prize from Make and MailerLite, so stay with us till the end and pay attention. And for the last 10 or 15 minutes, we will open a discussion and answer hopefully all your questions. Of course, guys, Zoom Q&A is already open. Post your question there, and it will be monitored. We will do our best to answer all of them. And no worries, this session will be recorded and shared with you in a follow-up email. So now let's learn more about MailerLite. The floor is yours, Harmony.
Okay, thank you, Ina. My name is Harmony. Thank you for the introduction. I work for MailerLite in the customer education department. So I work with our video tutorials, our knowledge-based articles, and our academy. And today I'm introducing the new version of MailerLite. So for anyone that has already used MailerLite, you might be used to our classic version. In March of last year, we released an entirely new app. So it's the new MailerLite, and it is a new separate app. And it has lots of new features, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'll play our teaser video, which shows an overview of the new features.
MailerLite has gone through some pretty cool changes. Check out the new MailerLite. This interface has been completely redesigned to increase productivity. It loads way faster, and we will continue to develop exclusive features only to our new app. You gotta check it out! Our new e-commerce API allows you to connect with nearly any online store. We've taken automation to the next level with multiple triggers, so you can create advanced workflows that convert. And speaking of conversions, you can track performance on the new reporting dashboard that delivers more insights, which will help you build better marketing strategy. And we've developed a brand new iOS app for mobile and iPad so you can manage your campaigns on the go and even collect subscribers offline. Oh, and check this. We have dark mode. Pretty cool, right? Check out the new and improved MailerLite app exclusively on MailerLite.com.
Okay, so that is an overview of our new app. So I'll just go a little bit more in depth into some of the features that we talked about. The first one being multi-trigger automations. And this was one of the most highly requested features. So we're excited that this is added. And it basically allows you to add multiple entryways to one workflow. So if someone came in through a group, or they subscribed through a specific form, or maybe they had information change, it can all go in, they can all funnel into one workflow now rather than creating separate workflows for each entryway. So we're excited about that. Another upgrade that came to automations was the introduction of automation templates. So now when you create an automation in MailerLite, there are two options: to create it from scratch or to create it using a template. And what the template does is it pre-fills all of the steps in the automation for you. So then you just need to go in and customize it with your emails, etc. And this, we have several different templates. So we have ones for different goals based on your email marketing goals. So if you want to win back subscribers, for example, we have an entire template based on that. We also have more complex templates that use the multiple triggers feature, and we also have e-commerce templates. So if you have an e-commerce store connected to your MailerLite account, it gives you access to e-commerce templates. So you can send abandoned cart emails, post-purchase emails, things like that. And we also have templates that work with e-commerce. And speaking of e-commerce, we added 2 new e-commerce integrations to our new platform, that being PrestaShop and BigCommerce. Okay, and a few other new exciting features. The first one is the Preference Center. So this gives your subscribers options to basically segment themselves and tell you when they want to receive emails, how often, and even choose specific content. And you can customize the questions, but it basically gives subscribers the option to, if they maybe want to unsubscribe, they can instead change their preferences. So just change the frequency or the content that they receive. And this is now a pre-made block that can just be dragged and dropped into your newsletter. Another exciting feature is the link editor. So in the past, if you sent an email that included a broken link or an incorrect link, you had to go through customer support to get it changed. And now we've added that option straight into the app. So you can just go into the link activity section of your campaign and edit any links, even though the campaign has already been sent. And lastly, we have two new apps that we've introduced for the new MailerLite. So the classic MailerLite already does have an app. So with the introduction of the new app, we've introduced two new applications. So the first one is our iOS mobile app, which actually gives you the option to create and send emails. At the moment, it's rich text emails. So if you want to create a quick email with some text and a few images, you can do that right from the mobile app. You can also check all of your analytics from the app. So you can see how your automations are doing, how your forms are doing, any new subscribers, things like that, all from the application. And we've also introduced an app for iPad as well. So this is our iPad subscribe app. And what it does is it gives you the opportunity to actually collect subscribers offline. So you can create a form using the app. And if you are at an in-person event or collecting subscribers in person at something, you can just use the app, which collects it offline. And then when you are connected to internet, it uploads all of the information to your account. So those are our new features. And we are continuously adding more to our new app. At the moment, you can still use a classic account, but all of the new features are going to the new app. So I encourage you to check it out. You can sign up to a 30-day free trial where you get 30 days of premium features. And if you already have a classic account, we have migration tools that will help bring data over from one account to the other. So just trying to make the transition as easy as possible. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Harmony. That was super exciting. I was very happy to learn that about MailerLite. So now let's speak about Make and what is making our platform so unique. The mission of Make is to empower everyone to innovate without limits. We understand that launching and scaling business, especially small business, comes with many sets of challenges. And we know that a lot of business owners have a very difficult time being able to creatively respond to those challenges due to the lack of time, finances, or resources. That drove our founders to create Make, and back then Integromat. We imagine a world where anyone, you can be a business user like myself or Daniel, or skilled programmer, or you can be a small business owner or a person in a very large company. Anyone in the Make world has actual power to be able to innovate and solve problems on the day-to-day without any limitations. With Make, you can design, build, and automate anything by connecting thousands of apps in just a few clicks. What actually makes our platform so unique? Well, first of all, mind map future of our platform helps you to imagine and workflow in your head, in your mind, and start immediately interacting with Make, drag and drop apps, build your workflows, and also you can see in real time data moving around from one app to another. Secondly, with Make, you have an ability to create and launch in minutes, not days or weeks. That means fast time to value for both business users and skilled, experienced programmers. Of course, on Make, you have unlimited use cases across all industries, roles, departments, and of course, Make product is growing with your needs. Our pricing is super competitive, it's highly customizable. You can start from free account and upgrade based on your business growth and needs. More operations, boom, you have it. More features, more services. When you outgrow our highest teams plan, you can speak with our sales guys and discuss special enterprise plan for your needs. So why to choose Make, you may ask? And maybe I already saw a couple of questions like that, how to compare it with other tools on the market. There are obviously other integration tools out there, but they're usually quite linear and quite limited as well. On Make, you are not limited. As I mentioned before, on Make, you can choose from over 1,500 different applications or services, and you connect to almost any publicly available API through Make HTTP connector. And that will help you to create unlimited flow With Make, you can add in your automated workflow as many apps, steps, roads as you imagine. Any area of business can work with Make. You have the freedom to create various types of workflows to suit different job roles. Whether it's for development, HR, sales, project management, it's all covered with Make. If you encounter a workplace problem, like needing to simplify the customer journey, or you want to manage projects more effectively between teams, you can build a solution by yourself without developers, easy on Make. And of course, with Make, you can automate not only work-related workflows. Make is a lifestyle. You can automate your life, your personal life with Make. You can automate your day-to-day culture, sports experience. Smart house automations are included, and much, much more. With Make, the possibilities are endless, and you can use your imagination to create custom workflows tailored to your specific needs. So I think enough talking. Let's hear more visual proof of my words. Let's kick off demo. Daniel, over to you.
Hey guys, so my name is Daniel, and for the next 25 minutes or so, I will be talking about use cases, scenarios, and automation. So let's go. So when I was preparing for this webinar, I was obviously checking what our existing users, our Make users, are doing with MailerLite in Make, right? The obvious thing to do. And I've identified a few areas which were like recurring topics and themes in their scenarios. So, take this as an inspiration if you are completely new to Make, or maybe if you are an existing user of Make, maybe you will discover more use cases as I will be introducing those specific scenarios. So let's talk about the areas which we frequently see happening on Make together with MailerLite products. So obvious choice is to feed subscribers from external apps to MailerLite. That's like 90% of scenarios which our users do. And most of the time, those scenarios are very simple, but yet they are generating immense business value. Then we also see users doing it the other way around, right? So they are, for example, listening for new subscribers in MailerLite, and then they are exporting these new subscribers to external sheets like Google Sheets or Airtable, or to databases like Snowflake or BigQuery or MySQL. So that's another common topic. Then we also see a few users using quite advanced workflows, which involves like email validation and then sending confirmations back to the subscribers. And I'm going to show you a very specific example of that. For this case, we will actually talk about MailerCheck and MailerSend apps, which are kind of part of MailerLite's product portfolio. And then finally, we see users using Make to listen for new campaigns in MailerLite and notifying their teams when new campaigns go out, because you want your people, your coworkers, to know that something is happening, right? So they expect maybe increased number of tickets, more sales, more leads, more whatever, right? So that's for the talking part on my side. And let's now escape the presentation and let's go to Make. Before I start though, I want to say one thing. I'm not a developer, okay? So if you think that what you are about to see is like too hard for you, that you are like business user, you think wrong, like I would say anyone on this call can probably build the scenarios which I have prepared for you, okay? So don't underestimate yourself. This is all you can do too. So when you sign up for Make and you first sign in into the platform, this is something you are going to see. It's going to be a bit emptier because obviously I've been working here, so I have some active scenarios running, and scenarios are the automations within the Make platform, which you build and which you maintain. Here at the top, you see your current consumption levels. So basically, when your automations run, we charge you for operations which they burn. And the more operations you burn, the more you pay. Basically, it's a very simple formula. But aside from operations, you can also buy features. So our pricing is kind of two-dimensional. So you can buy a lot of operations and not that many features, or a lot of features and not that many operations. So it's super flexible to cover everyone's needs. Okay. Here at the top and here on the sides, we have a lot of menu items. I'm not gonna talk about all of them because we could spend like all day on it, but I'm going to focus on just a few of them. So with the introduction of Make, we have this new cool feature called Teams. So within your Make organization, you can introduce multiple teams where you will basically assign your coworkers from different departments to different teams so they don't interact with each other's scenarios and automations. So for example, you can have like marketing people assigned to the marketing team when they will run their marketing related automations. And on the other side, you can have a finance team running their own automations totally separately from marketing. And you are kind of sure that users will not interfere with each other. Okay, strongly recommend to use this feature. It's super powerful, especially for bigger organizations. Now, before we go into the actual scenarios or automations, I want to introduce the idea of templates. So when you open this tab, and again, when you are completely new to Make, and maybe you don't want to figure it out from scratch, or you don't just have time to build automations from scratch, you can explore our library of templates, which are basically pre-built automations for you. So for example, if you are interested, I don't know, in mailer send templates, for example, you can just simply filter for that app or for any combination of apps, and the library will get filtered to the templates which are involving that app, right? So for example, if you want to fire emails through MailerSend based off Stripe events, you can use just this template and you don't even have to build that scenario yourself. So you would enter the template, you check out the description, and then once you click this button, you will be taken through a template wizard, which allows you to basically set up that scenario very quickly, literally with no like programming skills or whatever. Okay, so again, if you are new to Make, you don't have time to figure out, or you want to just get started quickly, templates might be a way to get going quickly. But now let's talk about scenarios, because at the end of the day, I think that most of the attendees will be actually building the scenarios, because it's like a drug. Like once you start, you cannot really stop it because you will love the process of building those scenarios. So when you go to the scenario tab here, you see all your scenarios, active ones, paused ones, etc. And here in my case, you can already see that I'm like hosting hundreds and hundreds of scenarios. I mean, no wonder, right? I've been working here for a while, so I do have a lot of scenarios. Here you can filter the scenarios just to active ones, inactive, or concepts. And here on the left side, you can actually group the scenarios into folders, so it helps you to stay organized. And this is exactly what I've done for this scenario, right? Like obvious choice. So I've created a folder called MailerLite Webinar, where I am hosting 4 scenarios, which I will be talking about today. So let's start with the simplest one. And again, let's start easy because, it's not always a good idea to start with the hardest stuff. So the first scenario will be about listening for new rows or for new subscribers in your source Google Sheets spreadsheet. Then when we see the new rows, we will ingest those rows and push them as new subscribers to MailerLite. And then finally, once we do that, we will update those source rows in the spreadsheet with a tag saying, okay, yes, this person was already uploaded. And to show you what I mean, I obviously had to prepare a sample spreadsheet. So here I have my subscribers tab, and I have 2 people on the list. Obviously, in real life, you would probably have like tens or hundreds of people. And every single time a new row appears here, you may want to take those contacts and upload them to MailerLite as new subscribers, right? And once you do that, you want to see like, yes, this was already uploaded, just to stay on the top of things and to make sure that you know what's happening behind the scenes. And for solving this simple problem, I built this simple scenario. So before I actually run it, I want to talk about some of the vocabulary. So this whole thing, that's the scenario. These bubbles, we call them modules, and modules belong to apps. So for example, this is a Watch New Rows module from Google Sheets app. And when we look at the Google Sheets app, we see that it has a lot of modules, all right? So there are many things which you can do with Google Sheets. There are usually a few triggers, like monitoring for events somewhere, and then actions which you can do with those apps. And generally speaking, if you have similar apps from similar verticals, those modules will be also similar. So for example, modules for Google Sheets and Airtable, they are kind of similar, not the same, but they are similar in many cases. Now, for MailerLite, we can also check out the app. So this is create/update a subscriber module within the MailerLite app. And again, we have quite a few modules here. And this app is pretty new too. It's been on the platform for like 6 months, 6 weeks or so. And then this is the final module, which will be updating the rows. I will go through the modules in more detail after I run the scenario. So let me first run it to demonstrate that it's actually working, right? So first time I run the scenario, I have to tell the scenario where to start. So in my case, I will want to process all the rows from that source Google Sheets spreadsheet and push those people to MailerLite as new subscribers. So I'm going to select all, and now I'm going to run the scenario, and let's see what happens. So now you can see it's pretty visual already, right? And we can see that this module got the 2 people from the spreadsheet. So we have Joe Doe and Paul Smith. You can see all their values from the respective columns. And then we can see that they were created in MailerLite as new subscribers here and here. So far, so good. And I would say super simple, right? But do you actually believe me it worked? Well, let's first check out the spreadsheet, right? I wanted to say that once these guys are uploaded, I want to tag them with yeses. So obviously that part worked. But what about MailerLite itself? So in MailerLite, I'm using the dark mode. And when I go to subscribers, I should see Paul Smith here and Joe Doe. And you can see that they were uploaded at this time. Unfortunately, this is not my time zone, but the minutes are matching. So you can see that on this minute, they were actually created as subscribers. And when I go and check out the details about the subscriber, you can see, the name, last name, company, it's all there, and it's all matching with the spreadsheet. So far, so good. Let's now look at the scenario itself and at the configuration of the modules. Because again, if you are new to Make, I think it's kind of interesting to see how simple it is to set up these. So the first module is monitoring for new rows in the source spreadsheet. So basically what I did is that, I located my source spreadsheet through this finder. So you just find the spreadsheet by name and it will get mapped here. Then within the spreadsheet, you have to define the source sheet, right? So my source sheet is subscribers as here, subscribers, all right? And then basically that's it for this module. Yes, I have some parameters here to limit the number of new subscribers for each run, set 2,000, but in my case, it was 2, so it was easily enough, right? So it worked. I would say the most interesting part of this scenario is, of course, the MailerLite module. So when I open the module, we can see that from this preceding Google Sheets module, we are mapping the incoming variables into the MailerLite module. And that's essentially how data get transferred like from one module to another, right? So how hard is it to map these things? Well, it's super simple. So for example, let's say that the email was missing here. And now, I have to map it with the email coming from the spreadsheet. Literally, you can just click this and that's it. Now it's mapped. Or you can just grab and drag and drop this into the field. So super simple. Now, few basic things here. If the field name is bold, it means it's mandatory and you have to provide a value. So of course, for an emailing platform, you do have to provide the email, right? It goes without saying, but these fields, they are all optional. And here you can even see custom fields here, which you can map. And I think I saw one of the questions in Q&A, so I hope that addresses it. Yes, you can map even custom fields within Make, within the MailerLite app. And basically you fill out your fields like one by one, you just map them, or you can even specify the groups into which you want to add your new subscribers. So of course, for this webinar, I've prepared a group which is called MailerLite Webinar, and those 2 guys were uploaded to that group. You can even specify the subscribed on time, which I did, right? And here I'm using one of our inbuilt functions. We call them inline functions, which is basically generating the current time and the time of that execution and pushing it to MailerLite. And that function is available here on these tabs. So we have a lot of functions. If you are familiar with Excel functions, you are going to love this one. So we have similar functions like in Excel or in Google Sheets. So text functions, math functions, date time functions. This is the now function, which will give you the current time. As I said, we do even have array functions for advanced users, and you can even define like custom and system variables, and you can play with them and map them within your scenarios. Okay. And now in the final module, once we successfully updated those subscribers in MailerLite or edit them, what we want to do is we basically want to take that original row number and update the column called uploaded to MailerLite with static value. Yes, I just type this one on my keyboard like this. So I hope it clarifies things. If you are new to Make, you can see. I hope you do see that it's super easy, right, to build these scenarios. And even this scenario would probably take you to build, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's not rocket science. But let's take a step back and let's look at some inspiration. Because I said that our users are using Make to feed, subscribers from external systems to MailerLite a lot. It's like 90% of use cases. So what are other use cases? Well, for that, I've prepared this like overview scenario, which is actually kind of like hosting 5 sub-scenarios. And here we can see examples of simple scenarios. For example, you can be watching for Shopify events, watch orders, and then you can be uploading contact information from that orders as new subscribers to MailerLite, right? Super simple. Then we do have similar thing for WooCommerce, right? So I was seeing this as a pattern which our users were doing. And again, they are taking order information and creating new subscribers with that information. For example, in WooCommerce, you do see that they are providing you by default with a lot of fields, and they do match pretty much with what MailerLite is offering by default. Then another set of use cases was revolving around form collection, right? So you might be running type forms or Jot forms or Google Forms. And maybe you are doing like lead generation business where you are listening for new subscribers, for new leads, and you want to use that contact information again, to store them in your MailerLite account and send them marketing campaigns in future. So it's super simple. You can just listen for submissions from Typeform and then again create them as new subscribers in MailerLite. Now, this use case is a little more advanced, I would say. Let's say you run a website, you are selling something, but it's not really like Shopify website or WooCommerce website, but you do have Stripe on it, right? So you are like receiving payments. And again, from those payments, you may want to ingest those contacts and use them as subscribers. So what you need to do in case of Stripe, you likely need to listen for payment intent succeeded event, which is basically like money coming to your Stripe account, like the transaction went through. Then in the second step, you can get the customer's information. So like address, name, last name, first name, full name, all these things. You need to do this extra API call to get the customer ID information. And of course, you will get the customer ID from the preceding module. And once you do that, you need to map out the variables. But now it's a little more complicated. And that's why I want to stop by here. So you see, you get country, you get city, you get phone, state, postal code, etc. Of course, you get email. But the customer name from Stripe may not always come separated into first name and last name. So essentially in MailerLite, you can have like name, which is the first name field and last name field. But from Stripe, you are getting like full name, like Dan Zrast as a one string. So you need to separate Dan and Zrast into separate words somehow, so you can map it into these first name and last name fields, right? So how to do that? This is a hack, or this is a trick which I've been using like every single day, because you always face these issues. And what you can do here is that you can take the full name coming from this Stripe module, then split it by space, and that will give you the individual words as like elements of array. And then from that array, you just need to get the first item for the first name, and similarly last name, or last item from that array for the last name. So if you did not know this trick before, I highly recommend you maybe take a screenshot of this or watch the recording once we publish it. Okay? It's super powerful, super useful, and yet again, not that difficult. Now, let's talk about last pattern, which I was seeing. So we do have a lot of users on Make who are running an e-learning platform. And of course, when you sign up new students, when there are new enrollments, you want to take those students and again, push them to MailerLite. So For example, in case of Thinkific, which we also run internally, you can watch for new users, and as long as you have consent for marketing, you can push them automatically to MailerLite like this. Okay, so again, most of these scenarios are quite simple, but I just wanted to give you something for imagination, right? What you could do, and maybe you have already ideas how to expand it. For example, in case of maybe this WooCommerce scenario here, maybe you don't want to have it that simple. So let me just upgrade it a bit. And here you might want to see, hey, if my order is above $100, I want to put the subscriber to group A. But if the order is lower than $100, I may want to put the subscriber to group B, right? So you can use our router feature like this. And then you can quickly take the scenario to the next level, and you can say, hey, if the total value of the order is above greater than, so if it's above $100, put the subscriber to group A or whatever, right? And then in this route, you can say, okay, but if the order is lower than $100, put the subscriber to a different group. And just by introducing this simple conditional logic through router, you are able to segment your users in MailerLite, and maybe you want to send them different type of campaigns in future. So in this case, I would just select a different group ID. Maybe I would do like test 10 or whatever, right? You get the idea. So just by expanding the scenario with few simple steps, you are again generating more business value into your business process. And yes, super simple, but it can have some impacts on your bottom line. All right. So enough simple scenarios. Let's look at something more complicated. Okay. So I'm gonna escape this one. I'm not gonna save my changes. And let's look at advanced use case. So now imagine like you are a seasoned marketer and you've been doing this for a while, and you are running a lead generation campaign, maybe on Facebook or maybe on LinkedIn. All right. So you are like running paid ads and you are showing like sign up forms on these platforms. And what you want to do is that you don't want to simply just add the subscriber from your LinkedIn lead gen form to MailerLite, but you also want to like verify that the email is actually valid, right? It's not some like made up email, which is kind of dead anyway, because what would you do with your database full of dead emails, right? It's not that great to have. Once you verify that person, you want to, of course, create it as a subscriber if they pass verification. Then you want to send a confirmation back to that lead that's saying, hey, like we got your submission, because you want to keep the lead in the know, right? That something is happening. And then finally, you may want to keep track of the leads in a Google Sheet again, right? For every new lead, add a new row. And then you also want to send a notification about the new lead, maybe to Slack, or maybe to Teams. In my case, it's gonna be Slack. Okay. So I'm gonna simulate this for real, and then we'll go through individual steps and I will explain what's happening. So I'm gonna go to my LinkedIn profile, and surprise, surprise, I see an ad, and surprise, surprise, the ad is from Make. And because we all love Make, we want to sign up for a consultation, right? So before I sign up, I will actually start listening for those submissions in real time so we can see how the data is flowing through the scenario. And now I'm going to sign up. So yeah, I want to book an appointment. I'm super excited. So let's do it, submit. And now it usually takes between like 5 to 30 seconds for the lead to arrive. In case of LinkedIn, it's not like totally real time, but the lead should be here any second. And once it's here, magic will start happening. So let's wait for the lead for a while. Okay, now it's here. Now it went through the validation. We added the new subscriber to MailerLite. We sent a confirmation back to the lead. Then we added it as a new row into Google Sheet spreadsheet, and then we got a notification to Slack. So let's start from the end this time. So what did happen on Slack? So we can see that at this time, 5:36, I got this notification. Your subscriber added to MailerLite. This is the email. This is the name. This is my company. And the email validation status was role. More about that coming soon. Okay, now let's go back to the spreadsheet and see what happened there. So here we have a tab which is storing my LinkedIn form submissions, and we can see that my contact information was added here. So far so good, nothing too complicated, right? Then we should have received also an email about the form submission. So when I open this MailerSend module, which was basically designed to cover these use cases when transactions happen. So maybe there's a new lead, there's a new order, maybe there's a new ticket, there's a refund. For all these transactional events, you should rather use MailerSend instead of like sending a campaign through MailerLite, right? Like, I mean, it doesn't make sense to use MailerLite for that. For all the transactional stuff, you should be using MailerSend, okay? So within the module, we are just sending a confirmation to that lead. Thanks for signing up. We'll contact you in 24 hours, yada, 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 yada. Okay, it's all here. And now when I check my email here, I'm gonna pull it up. I got the email, 5:36, it's all here. Yes, it's not looking very fancy, but you could make it look fancy if you put the effort in. For me, it was just a quick demo. So I have simple string and it's saying, hey, we've collected your submission and we'll contact you in 24 hours, right? So now imagine that the business is texting the customer or sending them the confirmation. You might be wondering why I have 2 emails. That's because I was practicing the webinar earlier this morning. So you see, this was like 5 hours ago. But 1 minute ago, that was for real what we saw here, okay? Now, when you go to MailerSend interface, you can actually see the activities happening within there. So if I update, we can see that today there are like 2 activities. And we sent this email right at 5:36, and then 5 hours or 6 hours earlier, we sent the same email when I was practicing. So far so good. I would say nothing too complicated yet. Now, when we go to MailerLite, we can also check whether the new subscriber was added, but it would be a surprise if I wasn't there, right? So let's see. Subscribers. And mail Dan's Rust, it's here, this is the time and it's all good. So that worked. And now we can talk about this part. So for the email validation, it can get a little tricky as of now, and I will explain why. So there are many statuses which that validated email can return. And in my case, when I open the module, we can see that it ended up as an error because currently the mailer check module, this get email validation, is treating basically any suspicious outcome, any suspicious status as an error. But for example, in my case, I was classified as a role. So when I go and check the verification results, which are possible to get through the API, we can see that the role status is here. It's classified as risky, and MailerCheck thinks that my personal email is not associated with a single person. I wonder why, but it's me. It's really me. Anyway, so you can see that the email validation can return a lot of statuses, and basically the sent to the valid one will not result in errors as of now in Make, and the others will. But there is still a way to get around it. And moving into very near future, we are also going to introduce a new module which will not treat these risky statuses as an error, and the module will basically allow the scenario to continue forward. But let's say we don't have the module yet, and we still have to work with this. So what I am doing here is that I introduced a simple error handling, and I am saying that, like if the validation status coming from this module is a role, it's fine for me. I know it's risky, but I still want the scenario to continue. So in that case, resume and pass that status or that error message, which is actually the status coming from the API, let it go and process the subscriber as if nothing happened. And that's exactly what happened here. So resume error handler allows you to do it. We have a few more. We have things like ignore, commit, break, rollback, etc. Yes, it's a bit more advanced, but after a week or two, when you get more comfortable in Make, you are going to be exploring various error handling options. And this is where you can find them under this flow control wheel here. Okay. Other than that, this scenario, it's still kind of simple. There is not that many complicated things, but the business idea or the business logic is now more complicated, right? Take the email, validate it. If it's good enough, push it as a subscriber, get a confirmation back to the client, store it as a new row into your spreadsheet, and then push the message to Slack. Okay. So I hope this is already generating some more ideas on your side how you could improve your workflows. And let's look at the last scenario, which I have prepared. So let me escape this one. And we can look at monitoring new campaigns. So this scenario is, again, super simple, but it can have a huge impact on your organization. Because as I said, when you are sending new campaigns, maybe to 100,000 customers, something is likely going to happen, right? You are going to get more leads, more orders, more tickets, whatever. And you want your team to know that the campaign went out, so they are ready tomorrow or for the coming days, right? So this simple scenario is basically monitoring for new campaigns in MailerLite. So I'm specifically looking for status sent, and then I'm compiling a message on Slack, okay? So I'm going to go to MailerLite now, and I'm going to fire that campaign which I've prepared, and then we can run the scenario. So when I go to campaigns, to drafts, I have a campaign which I have prepared earlier here. So I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to send it straight away. So I'm going to do send now, and let's send it. In this case, send now is not always like real time. It's usually like 1 or 2 minutes delay. So now I have to talk about something, right? So we don't stare here. Let me show you one thing here within the Slack module. So when I was talking about the mapping part earlier, how you basically drag and drop the variables coming from the preceding module into the current one, I also want to show you this, that you don't always have to like fully map the field, right? You can use these static strings like campaign and type, and then you can combine it with mapped variables to create like dynamic messages. So again, in this case, I started like this, and then when my texts were ready for that Slack message, I would take the campaign name, right, and drag it to the position, and then I would do type, and maybe, it's not enough for me, and I want to also see the status, right? So I would do it like this. So I just want to throw it out there that this is also possible and super easy to do. The message is again going to go to my testing channel. Let's see what time we have now. So it's 5:45:14. Let me see when it was scheduled. Okay, so now it's supposed to be sent. Let's see if I received the message already. Not yet, but it should be on the way. Nevertheless, let me run the scenario and see if it's going to pick up the new campaign. So, okay, so it picked up the new campaign, and to my Slack, I got this notification, hey, new campaign was sent in MailerLite. This is the campaign name, this was the type, and this is the status of the campaign. So again, super simple, but just letting people know that something is happening, it can help their jobs, or it can help them doing their jobs right. And that's it from me for now. So I hope you now better understand how Make works, what it can do. You can do simple things, but you can also do very advanced things. And basically, it's always on you on how complex automations you build. Don't be afraid to start. It's super easy. As I said, I'm not a programmer yet. I am standing here and explaining how to do like super technical things, right? So with that, let me go back to slides, and I will hand over the word to Ina. Before I do so, I want to show you that the email actually arrived from MailerLite. So even that part worked, right? So MailerLite webinar demo campaign, hello world, this is the sample campaign. So all good here. And Ina, the floor is yours.
Amazing. Thank you, Daniel. It was a great demo. Now you can really, or you feel like jump into the Make, subscribing, use Visual Builder, start your automation journey. But if you are new to Make into MailerLite, please wait till tomorrow. You will check your inbox. You will receive a special promo offer from Make and MailerLite with all instruction on how to redeem it. And here, actually, for you guys, a summary how Make can support your automation journey and help you rock any integration. Of course, guys, go to checkmake.com. There are a lot of resources, thousands and thousands of pre-built templates, like show you Daniel in his demo. We have cool interactive courses at Make Academy. We have amazing support crew and helps article will answer all your questions. And of course, you can learn more with various video tutorials on Make YouTube channel. And you're all invited to join Make community. You can share your knowledges, best practices, open different cool discussions with Make users and Make experts. And of course, for some personal or business users who need more specialized support, we have a large network of certified experts who could offer you professional services 24/7 in different languages, different time zone, and different region. And they can offer you professional consulting, training, custom development. So guys, make sure you will visit make.com and choose your path to start the automation journey. Let's play now. Guys, we have a cool prize for you. You will know in a minute what it will be. Make sure you will join our game, scan the code, QR code, use the code you see on the slide and go to slido.com. Make sure that you will put your real email address and you can register under any name or nickname. So play with us. You will be able to win a special prize. So Daniel, what it will be, reveal to us. Well, additionally, to Make a special offer for Make, 2 months of Teams plans, the highest subscription on Make. You will receive also MailerLite 10% discount on the first purchase while you will be on MailerLite trial. And additionally, for only one winner who will reply correct on only one questions and will be first to reply, they will receive additionally to the special promo bundle 1.5 hours enablement session with Daniel here, Make specialist, and with a specialist from MailerLite. So it will be super exciting. So guys, what are our rules? We have one question, 3 possible answers. Only one is right. You will have 15 seconds, and the first one who will answer correct will get a special prize. So let's play. Daniel, please run our quiz.
Okay, let me run to Slido. So guys, start joining, okay? And once we have enough people here, I will count it down and then we will play.
Amazing. More names pop up. Cool.
I see we have 74 participants, so let's see if we get 74 people. Probably not, but you know.
Join us. It will be fun.
Come on, guys. Time is running out.
So I think we are ready to have more time for Q&A.
Okay, so I don't see any more new names. Okay, so it's still changing. So let's wait another 25 seconds. And I hope you guys paid attention to what I was saying, because question obviously is going to be about one of the topics mentioned earlier. Okay, so I think we are ready. So I'm going to start counting down from 3 to go. And once I say go, I will activate a quiz, and then you will have those 15 seconds to answer the question correctly. Remember, you have to be correct and you have to be the first one. Okay, so let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So I guess the correct question is more than the correct answer is more than obvious, right? So yes, it was mailer send. And as I said, you know, if you are doing lots of transactions and you want to confirm them to your customers, mailer send is the app to go. So let's see who the winner is. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, Vanessa. Congratulations. It took just 6 seconds for you to beat this challenge. and we will contact you with further details via email. Okay, so let's now go back to slides. Well, there are no more slides actually.
Yes,
There is Q&A session.
Exactly. Let's kick it off. We have precisely 8 minutes, 43 seconds now to answer all of them. We have a lot of cool questions, so let's jump in right now. Well, we have a couple of questions regarding AI topic. It's a very trendy topic now. I have a couple of questions to you, Harmony, and you, Daniel. Harmony, can we use AI in email marketing?
Yes, absolutely. So I've become a little bit obsessed with AI recently and ChatGPT with all of the advancements that are coming with that. And there are so many use cases across a lot of industries, but definitely email marketing. So just some ideas that I would personally have to use AI in email marketing would be generating content ideas and generating content writing. It makes things a lot faster and it can help bring new ideas too. It also can help with generating content calendars. So AI is actually really good at scheduling out post ideas or content ideas and putting that into a calendar. So that's one option to use it. It can also even be used to give feedback or improvement. So if you want to maybe correct errors or get a bit of inspiration from AI, it can be used for that too. It's actually very creative and intuitive. So I think content writing and generating ideas are good uses for it.
Sounds cool. Hope to read more about it in your community or some blogs from MailerLite. So Daniel, can you give us some examples of how to use AI with Make?
Yeah, so on Make, we obviously support ChatGPT app. It's there and it's used by a lot of users. And what we frequently see is that users are using ChatGPT to basically generate replies to customers about whatever. So for example, remember, we were sending that confirmation about the lead from LinkedIn, and we are sending it back to the customer, right? So you could create a customized message, for example, just for that customer about what they said and say, hey, we got your confirmation, but you could do it in a very fancy way and in a way which is unique for every customer. Or internally, I was recently trying to solve a challenge where I got a huge list of addresses, like physical postal addresses, but it all came as one piece of string, right? One text, but I needed to separate out city, street name, house number, state, postal code, etc., into standalone columns. And it sounds super simple, but it's very difficult to do because you don't know what is what in that string. And therefore, I use ChatGPT to tell me what part of those strings is city, what part is the street name, what part is the state or country, and it helped me a lot. Yes, it wasn't perfect. It had like 95% success rate, but when you are dealing with 5,000 addresses, 95% success rate helps you a lot still. So this is one of my recent use cases and pretty powerful ones. Obviously, you can use ChatGPT for many things, even internally on our forum. I think we have ChatGPT running on the top of the responses which our users and fans are posting, and then we are making sure that the responses are containing certain elements, that the response is clear enough. But if ChatGPT does not think the response is clear enough, we are going to generate a message to remind the person who posted to maybe specify the reply a bit better so others can understand it. So there are quite a few use cases. We could go on and on for this about this, but
limited with Make. Thank you, Daniel. Make sure check a couple of discussions open now in our community on this topic. It's super exciting to read all those cool ideas from our users and experts. We have a couple of practical questions related more to your demo, Daniel. In that example, I assume it's this short scenario been shown with WooCommerce and so on. In the MailerLite model, what was the connection bit?
Let me open anyone. So basically, when you want to work with most of the apps, you always have to first create connection to your account, right? So this is what you do here. So obviously, I'm already connected because the scenario is working. But first time you use this app, we will ask you to create a connection. So in this case, you will be asked for API key. So you will locate it in your MailerLite account. And once you provide it, your connection is set. And then you are good to use the app on Make. You do this once and then the connection kind of stays forever there, but you have to do it once.
That's amazing. Thank you, Daniel. Harmony, for you as well, some practical question. How can MailerLite ensure that emails are delivered to subscribers' inboxes and not marked as spam?
Yes. So deliverability is kind of a big puzzle. It's not super black and white, but MailerLite does provide all of the tools and resources to have good deliverability and to make sure emails are landing in people's inboxes and not their spam. So a couple of the tools that MailerLite provides are things like domain authentication, domain alignment, dedicated IP, basically all things to protect your domain and make it so that it's more accepted by servers. There's also an in-app inactive subscriber cleanup. So all your inactive subscribers, there's a feature in the app to clean that up. And there's also, we have mailer check, which allows you to verify your list. So we provide a lot of tools and also resources. So we have tutorial videos, our knowledge base articles, our academy, all to help you improve your deliverability. And also MailerLite has some of the best statistics when it comes to deliverability. So Email Tool Tester actually has a email deliverability test that they do every year. And this year we are at the top of that. So MailerLite ranked the top in deliverability over other email marketing platforms. So we are very reliable, and we also provide a lot of tools and resources to make sure that it all goes to the inbox.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Harmony. Another one technical question to you, Daniel. Do you allow for custom fields to be mapped? I'm looking at setting up an automation for new leads that comes into Pipedrive and then mapping them to MailerLite.
Yeah, that's what I was saying during the demo. I noticed this question earlier. Yes, you can map custom fields here. So whatever custom fields you have in your MailerLite account, they are going to show up here. And yes, if this was Pipedrive and you have also some custom fields in Pipedrive, you could just like drag and drop them into here. So no issues here, super simple.
That's super, thank you. Also, kind of long question. I'm not sure if we'll have time to answer it now. Just let me know, Daniel. I'm interested in building a scenario with variables, customer name and related items for each of my customers to set several operations to discuss with Notions. Do you have any guidelines for that kind of support for mapping? My target is to run the same scenario for one of my customers that has its own specific data set.
Let me read this one. It was a very long question.
Yeah,
related for each might. Look, I'm afraid this would require me looking into the scenario because this is super specific, and when you have more complex scenario, it's hard to explain because there's many routes you can take. I can't answer. Sorry, I can't answer.
So the best way here is to contact our support guys, make sure you will do so, and they will advise their best how to make your scenario more efficient and working well. And maybe the last question to wrap up our session, Harmony, to you. We saw a lot of questions about migrating from MailerLite Classic to new version of MailerLite app. If all data will be moved, do you have any best practices how to migrate from classic MailerLite to MailerLite new version?
Yes, so we do try to make it as easy as possible. So we have both video tutorials that can be followed and knowledge base articles to be followed, and it's all step by step, and all of the tools are right in the application. So as soon as you create a new account on the new platform, you have the option, if you have a classic account, to connect it and migrate it, and it all happens right away. So also, our support team is there to help, but I would say, yes, we do have video tutorials to follow, knowledge base articles, and our support team is there as well. So lots of resources to help make it as easy as possible.
Amazing. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Harmony. Amazing Q&A session, amazing demo and presentation. Thank you all for joining us today. And with that, we're wrapping up our session. Make MailerLite wish you all the best in your automation journey, and we hope to see you again on our next webinar. Bye-bye.